Hello and welcome to Health360 Plus. This is our conversation about the relevant health topic of the week. And as always, we discuss issues that are trending, hitting headlines. And this time around, we're going to be talking about Ozempic. Not just Ozempic, that diabetes drug that is just such a big rage outside of India, but also about real concerns on losing weight. We're calling it the battle of the bulge. This time around, Health360's conversation and all throughout the week and next is going to be on the right way of dealing with that one problem, which is losing weight the right way, losing fat the right way and being fit, not compromising on nutrients, being healthy while at the same time losing the excessive fat. And for this conversation and much more to take in your questions, also have with me Dr. Anjali Hooda Sangwan, who is MD Internal Medicine Medical Director at Live in NutriFit, New Delhi. Thank you so much, Dr. Hooda, for sparing time for Health360 and for India Today. I want to begin by asking you, and at the very outset, I mentioned this particular drug because everybody seems to be talking about it. Celebrities seem to be only interested in taking it. It is a diabetes drug, but just so many people are using it for weight loss, so much so that it's flying off the shelves and people who actually need it aren't getting it. What are your thoughts about Ozempic to begin with?
Hi, Sneha. I think that is the thing you nailed, that people who need it are not getting it because everybody seems to be using this drug, which is a protocol drug for diabetes and obesity. So people who have both the criteria fulfilling it should be using this. But it seems like this is being used like any other appetite suppressant because the reason the drug works is because it suppresses appetite. It's a GLP-1 hormone agonist. So it helps you suppress appetite. And if you don't feel like eating, you can eat a small amount of anything you want and you're still going to lose weight. So basically that is the problem. People are not realizing the side effects of the drug and they're just using it, as like any other appetite suppressant. And it's not like that. It's a medical drug with its side effect profile and has to be used in caution by people who actually, even people who need it should be using this as a caution drug.
Dr. Hooda, I want to ask you a question about how celebrities endorse it directly, indirectly, often directly, sometimes indirectly. When many celebrities have taken to this drug, it just gives out the impression that if this particular person, the celebrity, is taking it, then probably it is the best thing for me to do as well. Isn't that really dangerous?
It's very dangerous. So, everybody looks at celebrities for many things. And it's only good to be honest on screen and not promote a drug for the drug company, right? So this is a drug people are taking. Maybe this is promoted by drug companies. I don't know. But this is not something you and I can just use. I mean, if you're a normal BMI, you don't have diabetes, this is not a drug to be used. And if celebrities are using it who are a normal weight range, it's bad to promote this drug as a weight loss drug. It's just wrong.
Right. Weight loss pills. There is a lot of, there are perhaps many options, but little knowledge and information and correct information around weight loss pills. What is your take on weight loss pills that are widely available? Talk to us about some of them available in India. And what are the benefits of taking these weight loss pills and how should they be taken?
See, there is nothing called a weight loss pill, to be honest. Everything indirectly works to either suppress appetite or increase your metabolism or manage your sugar levels or insulin spikes. So there's nothing called a weight loss drugs. The herbs, I still agree, can help you lose weight, like cinnamon or gymnema, and those are the ones that can help. But the main area where the weight loss drugs are working is on appetite suppression. So there is nothing that can really increase your metabolism if you are somebody who's normal weight and normal age, weight for the age. You can't increase your metabolism by a drug. You've got to do stuff, right? But weight loss pills are popped in saying that, they will control your appetite, you'll lose weight and you'll gain muscle and you'll lose the fat. There is nothing like that. Everything has to be done in conjunction with each other. Even if you're taking something that enhances your metabolic rate per se, let's say I would call it in a layman term like a metformin, right? So it really doesn't increase your metabolism. It just increases your insulin sensitivity, which can be done by exercise. But I think people are more comfortable popping pills than actually going there out there and exercising and gaining some muscle mass, the metabolic hub. So and there are I won't say the brand names of weight loss, um, the so-called weight loss pills, but I will tell you that metformin is used, semaglutide, Ozempic is used for that, and there are other glutides like GLP-1 agonists in the same range, like liraglutide. There is one with the duraglutide. I can't remember the name, but yeah. So these are all GLP-1 agonists. They all
For
work
a
the
lot of
same way.
people who just procure this maybe over the counter, what would be your advice to them? Even if you need to use these pills, it should totally be on the advice of a registered medical practitioner, isn't it?
Absolutely. So the side effect profile of these drugs it can be very dangerous. They all come with a black box warning. And if you actually go on the website and read about it, you will see the black box warning of most of these GLP-1 agonists is thyroid cancer. Not that it causes cancer, but anybody who has a history or a gene for thyroid cancer or MEN2 syndrome, they can really have a bad time. I mean, you can actually precipitate a cancer, to be honest. So it's very important to know the black box warning of most of the things. But anyway, if you don't have diabetes, if you don't have a BMI of over 30, you're not supposed to be using this drug.
Dr. Hooda, a lot is being said about obesity in India, obesity in women particularly. In fact, some figures suggest that all over the world, every second person is going to be obese in the next 12 years. In India, the women are going to be more vulnerable than men. How big a problem do you see this? Obesity, and also the fact that women are seem to be more prone to it in that sense.
Yeah, I think what happens is for women especially, as they approach menopause, there is a hormonal disturbance. There is insulin resistance that happens. Even while they're young, there's a lot of PCOD, right? There's a lot of thyroid abnormalities, a lot of hypothyroid happening. So women tend to be takers of that side of, this side of medicine. So it's sad that women do it and women can get it more, but also at the same time, women don't have testosterone like men. So it's difficult for them to lose weight as compared to men. So a man and woman following the same diet, a man will have a better result. And then obviously, India is becoming a huge problem. Obesity is, I would say diabesity is the word. It's going to be a very big problem. And there's a lot of sedentary job. People are not really, we're not very active, but we want to eat like we were in the old times. You see, so we're sitting on the chair, we're sitting in a car, we're sitting in our homes. We're not really moving. So I think that is really contributing to, and we eat a lot of carbs and we eat too much and we have too much exposure to food. I think that's another one.
I have this thing about, and I don't know, please say if it is sensible, that we don't really need to eat 3 meals a day. I have my concerns about, about how people just think that if you've not had lunch, then it's blasphemous. I think you should just eat when you're hungry. And if it's not 3 meals a day, it's perfectly okay. Because I think this tendency of eating 3 meals a day really comes from the culture of the Industrial Revolution, where the factory workers were fed and then made to work and then fed and then made to work, isn't it? We don't function like that, do we?
No, we don't have to. We don't need a lot of food to survive, to be honest. I mean, if you were to fast for 7 days on just water, you can survive easily, right? So we don't need so much food. I think it's just a tendency of people to have that breakfast, lunch, dinner. As you said, it's in the food industry, giving us the morning cereals and telling us to eat sandwiches for lunch and, like that kind of thing. And it's really not needed. That much energy input is not needed since you don't have an energy output. I mean, but none of us are working 3-4 hours in a gym, right? We're sedentary. So it's not important to eat so much. You can survive on 1 meal a day. And I think a lot of the people, you're right when you say that you should eat only when you're hungry, but there are some people who are always hungry. So then that doesn't apply because their ghrelin levels, ghrelin is a satiety hormone, a hunger hormone, I would call it more. And if ghrelin is always up, you're always going to feel hungry, because ghrelin is insulin sister. So you're always going to feel hungry. And then you can't differentiate, then you have to have a timed schedule. But yeah, I agree. If you should eat only when you need to eat.
True. Also, you mentioned this thing about when people want easier solutions. For example, quick fix solutions. Years and years of abusing your body, not exercising, eating all the wrong things on earth, not moving, and then you want to pop a pill to then get rid of that excessive fat around your belly or anywhere else. This is a huge problem. What advice would you have to give to people who think that quick fix solutions don't really come with their set of problems?
See, anything which is instant is not going to be great for you. So we know that. We know that from instant cereals. We know from instant drinks. We know all that. So the problem with people is they want instant gratification. And if I were to lose, let's say, 1 kg a day, I would be so happy. But I know that 1 kg takes time to gain. So if you've taken a year to gain that weight, don't be in a hurry to lose that weight, because somewhere you're going to disturb the physiology of the body. You're going to disturb the hormones, and then you're always going to be hungry, or you're going to become a vengeful eater. You want to pop a pill for appetite suppression, but you can't pop a pill for the rest of your life. So it's better to change the habits, better to be in moderation, better to understand your own lifestyle, and then work accordingly. Instant gratification is so wrong.
Yes. I have a question about intermittent fasting, and Health360 is focusing on different kind of diets, and you've already spoken to us about keto, but also intermittent fasting is what we want to ask you about. We all know that the West has really repackaged this as what we know as vrat, the good old vrat that we often keep. I don't, yeah. But I think intermittent fasting is something that at least benefits me from the point of view of keeping me active, is what I feel. I don't feel loaded and put down all the time. What are the benefits of intermittent fasting, and what are the pros and cons of it? Because I believe that there would be some problems associated with intermittent fasting as well. What would you advise people against when it comes to intermittent fasting?
Yeah, intermittent fasting is a great way to lose weight. It's a great way to regenerate your cells and, be able to do apoptosis, which is the death of the bad cells. So it's just such an amazing thing to do. It's age old. You remember, like you said, vrat fasting is in every culture, to be honest, not just us, not in India. This is a part of every religion or every culture, and it was for a reason. But what we turned around the vrat to be, the fasting to be, is something that you want to keep munching, but it should not be like gluten or dairy or like whatever. But for me, I think intermittent fasting is one of the best ways to regenerate, be energetic, lose weight, reverse diabetes, reverse hyperlipidemia, reverse a lot of diseases. But the cons are that if you start fasting suddenly, like let's say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to go on 16:8 ratio, I'm going to fast for 16, eat for 8. It can cause headaches, it can cause a lot of stress, because it is a kind of a stress to your body, right? It's a hormesis, it's a good stress. But you get used to that stress slowly, pick it up slowly, baby steps, and then just, maintain at 16:8 ratio. Sometimes do 24 hours fast, sometimes do 18. But minimum requirement for a body to change the inside, the cellular health, is at least 16 hours of fasting per day. So if you're doing less than that, then you're not getting the benefit, and then you're thinking, oh my God, I'm fasting. So, give it at least that much time for the body to do the repair. So it's a repair work that happens during fasting. So it's a great way, except people who are diabetic on insulin, they got to be careful, because, you on insulin, you can go into hypoglycemia. Somebody with a high cortisol, I would say, don't do intermittent fasting, because though it's a good stress, but it can also increase your cortisol. So you have to see a baseline of where you are, and, countering headaches and all that that you can work on with the slow building up of the fasting hours, maybe 12 then 13, an hour every 3-4 days. It can be built up very easily.
Okay, so basically, from what I understand, you're saying that those with diabetes essentially should be careful. Other than that, the concept of giving a big gap, say 14 hours, 16 hours is something that works beautifully? for everybody else?
16 works beautifully. And then if you hit a plateau at 16, I mean, for especially for the weight losers or somebody who has a reverse, a lifestyle disease, best is to sometimes push yourself to 18 to 24 hours of just water.
Okay, that sounds good. I don't know how doable really, but
No,
it
it's
sounds.
very doable.
I've
No, I'll tell you why.
yes.
The point I want to make is, see, fasting is easy. If you're poor, you can fast. If you're rich, you can fast. If you're working, you can fast. If you're a mommy, you can fast. You're a teenager, you can fast. So fasting is that means actually nothing, right?
I
So it's
actually
inexpensive.
yes. Also, I actually end up, I realize that sometimes if I skip dinner and if I've had like a late lunch, I do end up doing it, involuntarily. Because I don't I mean, I don't do it consciously, but it's a good feeling is what I feel. And a lot of people whom I speak with also say that if they're not eating post sundown, then they sort of feel good. But I also want to ask you about this keto diet. And very recently, there've been concerns that have been raised about the link with heart health per se. What is your thought when it comes to keto diet and the risks associated with it? And what would you advise by way of precaution for people who are going for this kind of diet?
So keto diet is mainly fat. So we are looking at good fats. So what heart health is all about, the clogging of arteries, the plaque formation, actually is not happening because of the fat. It's more happening because of the advanced glycation end products in the age. So they are the ones that are actually causing the arteries to clog up. And it's on more sugar that the glycemic index of your foods, they are the ones responsible for clogging your arteries. So if you were to eat just fat in your diet, it doesn't clog up anything because it doesn't spike insulin. So, but at the same time, you got to be careful. Like if you're eating too much saturated fat, like if I tell someone go on a keto and they end up having 15 teaspoons of ghee, that's not good because there is no way that energy can be burnt because it's very high energy per gram. So one has to be a little careful. Obviously, do it under somebody who knows their stuff, somebody who can tell you medically whether how much you're having, what macros you're having. Keto is more about fat. It's less about protein. It's modified keto can be done. A ketotarian can be done. There are ways to do keto diet, but people have to understand that keto doesn't really affect the heart health in a reverse way. It actually is great for your lipid profile. It's great for your heart. I think people who are on keto, I would say more paleo, do better. So paleo is fat and animal protein, right? So if that is done, that's even better. But I know that a lot of people in our country are vegetarians. So for that, I think it's good to do a good keto with good fats so that you're always having the energy. The problem with keto is when you have low energy or you're not pooping properly, you get constipated kind of thing. So if that you can counter with your health practitioner, I think that is one of the best diets.
Right. I want to end this conversation by asking you, and I think this is what a lot of people talk about, that we managed to lose some weight, but we got it back. How do you sustain weight loss? How do you ensure that if you've arrived at a good weight, and by weight, I also mean losing fat at the wrong places. How do you sustain that? People complain about just becoming fat once again. Where do we go wrong?
I think what people think about weight loss is like a temporary phenomenon. They think, okay, 3 months, I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to have a good lifestyle and I'm going to get in shape. The point is that it's not about 3 months. It's a lifetime of choices. And I think we are all exposed to the wrong choices and we end up making wrong. We all want ice cream. We all want pizza. It's normal to want that. But if you keep your, like as I said, intermittent fasting can be extremely great for somebody who wants to live their life and yet feel the effects of and remain thin or whatever health that you want to achieve. You can remain there with fasting. But if you don't want to do that, and you have to change your lifestyle, you have to make that choice. For me, if I want chai biscuit in the morning, that you can't just stop for 3 months and then go back to it. You just change what you want to have in the morning. Like, I want to have green tea and almonds, It's a developed taste. It's something you develop. And once you develop that, then you won't feel the need to have a pizza. You won't actually, those foods start irritating you at some point. That's the nirvana you want to reach.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about lifestyle change.
It's not even gratifying. I mean, if I crave for a pizza and I eat it, I just feel it's not just about guilt. I just don't feel good about it. I'm like, what did I just
You won't.
put into my
Yeah,
body?
you won't feel good. You won't feel good. All these foods, so all these foods which are junk foods actually do not gratify you if your body is in a healthy shape.
Yeah.
They are not going to make you happy. The only people who get happy by eating these foods are already with hormonal issues. Their their gut loves sugar. Their gut loves the processed foods because the bacteria love it. But if you're in a good health, good gut, you don't like these foods. They won't give you that satisfaction. You don't feel happy the next day or within few hours, and you're craving for more. On top of that, you're craving for more because they stimulate your hunger hormone because you want more. So one muffin is not going to satisfy you. You want something else after a couple of hours. But if you ate good food, something which is a little more protein and fat and stuff, that you don't want to eat crap. It just works like that. I mean, this is a change that one has to bring in for a lasting, lasting shapely body, I think, and mental health.
Yeah, I know. I think very quickly, because we're running out of time here, and this has been my experience as well. Each time I want to do something, I try swimming, or if I try cycling, I think even if we keep our goals not very high, we have a tendency to achieve them quicker, and there's a sense of relief that, see, I did at least 10 minutes of swimming, or 10 minutes of cycling, if not 1 hour in the gym. I think if you begin small, also we will get there, is what I feel. A lot of people, initially, I was like, oh, if I'm not doing 1 hour of yoga, I'm not even doing 10 minutes. I need to do that 1 hour. I think that's it. It doesn't work like that, right?
I would say. No, there's a proven study that says even 7 minutes of exercise is good,
Great.
So even 7 minutes of any activity, I mean, you can just skip rope or imaginary rope or do like 7 minutes of push-ups and squats, just 7 minutes. How much does that take? It stimulates such good hormones in our body. It stimulates satiety, it stimulates metabolic centers. I mean, it's just so good to just do even 7 minutes.
All right.
So most of our patients say 7 minutes. Go do 7 minutes.
All right. Dr. Hooda, thank you. Pleasure always to speak with you. This is really delightful. And like I said, we are going to be focusing on battle of the bulge and bulge at all the wrong places. And have these conversations about intermittent fasting, keto diets, and how you can lose weight well, properly, lose it fast and not lose the nutrients, but lose fat and also sustain it. These are conversations that we need to have and continuously need to have on a daily basis, and we at Health360 are good at doing that. Dr. Hooda, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for